What's going on, guys? Stephen James here with X Factor Outfitters. So I just picked up a pretty cheap wall tent. I was looking for something that was a little more affordable than having to spend $1,200 to $1,500 on a wall tent, and one that would be good enough to be used on our hunts, something comfortable for our clients, and also something good enough for me and my family. I'm going to do a walkthrough right now. I bought this thing from Walmart.com, believe it or not. It was extremely cheap. I think we paid $402, and that was including tax. We got free shipping, so it got shipped right to the house. With this COVID-19 stuff going on, it did take a little while to get it here. It took about a week. It was delayed by, I think, 3 days through FedEx, but it's understandable with everything that's going on. But I've seen a couple reviews on it. I researched the crap out of wall tents the last 2 months, and I finally found this one. And I was like, oh, Ozark Trail, that's a Walmart brand. I don't think I can trust that. But, you know, for $400, it was worth checking it out. And if we didn't like it, we could return it. But so far, I set it up yesterday, and I let it sit overnight in rain and snow and in some really high winds. And came out this morning, and it's still standing tall. And I'm pretty impressed with a few things. So I've seen a couple reviews on this particular tent, but they didn't really touch into all the details. They kind of just did a walkthrough, which I'm going to do as well, but I'm going to go into more details on setup and everything. So this might be a 3-part chapter video, but I'll try to touch everything that needs to be touched on. So here we go. Alright, so as you can see, here's the wall tent. It is the Ozark Trail 10 by 12. They have 2 different models that you can pick up. They have one with and one without a tent stove jack, and the floor also has, the one without the tent stove jack is just a solid floor. The one with the tent stove jack has a zipper cutout for a wall tent stove, so I'll show you that. But as far as the outside goes, it's 10 feet wide by 12 feet long. As you can see on all there's 4 guy lines on either side. The entire tent itself comes with 20 heavy-duty stakes. I used 18 of them, so I'm assuming it comes with 2 extra just in case you lose one. Up on top of the roof over here, you can see it has the flap for your wall tent stove. It unzips, which is nice because it has these ropes, so you don't have to try to reach all the way up there if you're short like I am. You grab those ropes and you pull, and it pulls the zipper down for you, and then it just kind of hangs, or you can roll it up and attach it at the bottom there. So yeah, so each side has a window, and then on the back side of the tent it has a much larger window. As you can see, I have it kind of unzipped, but plenty of ventilation. You have 2 ridge vents, one up here, one on the front side. The canvas itself has a skirt that wraps all the way around it to help shed water and keep water from the inside of the tent. So if you're going floorless, you don't got to worry about too much. Obviously, I always try to set my wall tents up on a higher point than what I'm camped around just for water shedding, but this will help out a lot. In winter camping, you can put that skirt down and then stack snow on top of it, and you will have a much more insulated tent. Even in the summer and spring, you can put dirt on top of there if you want. It will dirty it up quite a bit, but it allows for insulation, and then there's a gap in certain spots that critters can crawl up in. If you're worried about that, which we're not, you can always cover that with dirt or something. The top itself, the roof, has a fly that comes off about 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches, to help shed that water off. So if you do get rain or snow or what have you, it'll come off. I could tighten this up a little bit more if I wanted to, but I have my guy lines and my anchors in the wrong positions. But this is a backyard, so I'm not too concerned about that. On the front, you have a single zippered door, but it opens up this way, and you can roll this door all the way up, and you have tons of room to get in and out of the tent. And then it also comes included with a zippered door for the inside. So that is the outside walkthrough. As you can see, all four corners take 2 stakes for the skirt, and then you have 4 stakes for the guy lines. And that is the outside. One other thing is, if you want to roll these doors up, you roll them. There's a strap on the inside with a buckle, and then here is the other half of that buckle that you can buckle it in and keep your door up and out of the way. One thing we'll probably do is I'm going to order a large tarp that's probably 20 feet long by, I don't know, 13, 14 feet wide. Then I can drape it over the front, come out a few extra feet and have me like a little awning. And then also on the side, just to kind of protect the tent a little bit more. I don't think it needs it, but you know, anytime you have wall tents, it's always good to, you know, add that extra protection if you can. But that is the outside, and so I will move on to the interior, and then the third part of this video will be the setup. Alrighty, so here's the interior. As you can see, I have the main doors, front doors here open, and I just have the screen door shut. Kind of give you guys an idea of the sizes. I could easily back my, you could back a full-size truck in here and put the bed in here if you didn't want the floor in, and sleep in the bed of a truck with just this over the top. So really, really big opening. As you can see, I got the windows open. It did get a little warm, so I opened these up, and within probably 3-4 minutes, it is absolutely cool in here. I would say comfortable cool, to where you could take a nap in here in the heat and be just absolutely fine. So as far as the interior, as you can see, it comes with a PVC detachable floor. Both models do. This particular model has the zipper cutout for the stove. It is here in the front left corner. As you can see right here too, the PVC floor attaches to the tent with Velcro. And then each corner has these straps and buckles that buckle to the tent itself to keep that corner up. And then also each corner has an eyelet, or an eye bolt that attaches to the frame, which is really nice. Keeps it pretty secure. It comes in this big storage bag that has wheels. It has a handle on either side, wheels on one side. It is pretty heavy. I think it was around 100 pounds total. But the floor extends the entire span of the inside of the tent. The nice thing is the floor itself sticks up about 6 inches from the ground, and so you have about a 6-inch rise from the floor up the tent, so you don't have to worry about water getting inside this tent, which is going to be absolutely key in camping season, hunting season, whatever you're using this tent for. As far as accessories go, it does come with two different shelves, wall shelves, or storage pockets, I guess. It has a small one for like a cell phone, or you can put whatever you want in there. That's probably where like I'll put like some glow sticks for the kids, or my phone's too big to fit in there. But it does come with 2 sets, and you can put these anywhere you want along this frame. So they just have little clasps, if I can say it right, that just attach to the frame itself. And then you can see this white fabric that hangs off these little hooks and on these eyelets that are attached to the tent. So this comes separate. Well, it comes with the tent, but these are not attached to the tent. There's one on this side and one going this side, along this side, and those are LED lights, which is really, really cool. You have your battery switch here. What I'll most likely do is I'll probably put some Velcro on the back and some Velcro up here on the corner piece, and just attach it like off to the side like that, so it's not just hanging. But you take a little screwdriver, pull that Phillips head out, slide this off, put in 3 AAA batteries, and then you can turn it on and off. I haven't used these yet because I didn't really need them, but they do come with the tent, which is kind of cool, so you can light up the inside of the tent. The last accessory it comes with is, you can see this long strap that goes all the way across to the other side. It is held on by a Velcro strap up here, so you just wrap that through the frame or around the frame, Velcro it back to itself. Then you have all these little hanging points for clothing, for a lantern, whatever you want to hang from it. You have all these different spots. I can see us using this quite a bit, especially in the fall when it's raining and snowing outside. We'll have our tent stove over here. I'll probably string that across. And you can tighten it up to get it to where it's fully taut, about like that. But then I could hang clothes over here in this corner and only have the one side door open, and I could use that corner right there as my drying area. As far as room, it's pretty spacious in here. I had the Cabela's Lacnac before, which was similar setup, but it only had 4-foot tall walls, and there was a center pole right in the middle. And obviously that center pole is only 3 inches in diameter, but it takes up a lot more room. You can't do anything. You have to walk around it. Cots have to get set up in certain ways. You weren't able to get like a full-size bed in that tent because the corner would always hit the pole. This tent were probably for family use. I'm going to get some stack-on cots or bunk bed cots. I can put 2 there, one on top of the other. And I can do 2 over here, one on top of the other. Or if my wife's with me, we'll put down we have a small queen that comes out of an RV mattress. We'll put that down on the ground, put the kids on the bunk beds, and we'll still have room up here for a table, and then have our stove. And if it's in the summertime when we don't need the stove, I can set up a table right here and just put the heater buddy on it if we need it. Inside the tent, there's these straps right here, and there's also a buckle on the other side that if you want, you can unzip the screen, fold it up kind of like I've done with the outer door, and hold that up, and you will have plenty of room. But it's really comfortable in here. One more thing I wanted to touch on before I get into the actual assembly and what I dealt with on that is, for short people, the nice thing about this tent is this fly for the stove is on a pulley system. So if you want to unzip it, you just grab your string and you pull it and it unzips. And then if you need to zip it back up, you grab the opposite side and you just zip it right back up. And then you can go from the inside and stuff this underneath the little rain flap that's up on top to make sure water don't get inside the tent. So really, really cool tent. And now I will move on to the actual assembly of this tent. All right, so on to the assembly. As you can see, and it is an internal frame, if I can speak English. Really, really simple. I mean, I could set this frame up in less than 5 minutes. Everything's color coordinated for you. So you have red, you have yellow, and then you have white. The white's up here. So basically what I did is when I pulled this out of the box for the first time, which was yesterday, I set all the white poles off to the side, put all the red poles together, put all the yellow poles together, and then I got all of these 4-ways. There's a couple 4-ways, there's a 3-way, which is, there's only 2 of those because they're the ends, and then there's a couple other 4-ways, and then you have a couple 3-ways for the corners as well. So you have 6 corners. There's my little boy. You have 6 corners, and you have, let's see, 2, 4. You have 6 corners and 6 4-ways. So I put those all together, and then you obviously have the 2 ends. But what I did is I built the roof part first. So I did the ridge, got all that connected, and then I did my ribs, and then I got all my little 4-ways and everything, the splitters put on, and then I built one side first, which was really simple to do. Just from experiences in past with wall tents, you always build one side first and then have it sitting down at an angle so you can slide the canvas over, and then all you have to do is go on the inside and raise it up and put your other side in. Pretty simple. I mean, honestly, this took probably 10 minutes is all to unroll the canvas, put the frame together, and then roll the canvas. Maybe 15 minutes to roll the canvas over it, and that was me doing it by myself. Now, on this frame, you can see you have these little buttons, and there's 3 settings. So This setting, the lowest setting, is actually the tallest. So that means this raises up, you know, probably a good 2 inches. I put mine just based off of reviews, the couple reviews I saw on YouTube. A lot of guys put theirs here in the middle. As you can see, I have this one up here in the middle and this one here in the middle. But the legs I put on I put them in the middle at first. And I'll tell you what, the bottom of this canvas, there are some eye bolts, and I'll show you what these eye bolts look like, because the floor has the same exact eye bolts. They're extremely heavy-duty eye bolts, but what happens is this canvas on the corners, it has an eye bolt just like this, and it goes up underneath and slides up inside the frame. Doing that by myself it's not impossible, but it took me quite a while. It probably took me 20 minutes just to do the 8 eye bolts. Because I had that in the middle, I should have went probably to where it's at now. Would have gave me a little bit more play with this fabric, because this fabric is extremely tight. I mean, I can fit 2 fingers back behind that, but I wouldn't be able to, I can't fit 3 behind there. So it's pretty tight, and that made it really tough for me on my own to get those eye bolts in the corners and on the 2 sides. So if you have a second person with you, it'd probably be a lot easier, because one guy could be on the outside and he can pull down on the fabric while you get the eye bolt in. But one thing I did backwards, which this tent comes with instructions on how to set it up, and it is attached on the inside of the storage box. So here they are right here. I didn't really read the instructions, but what I should have done is I should have put the floor down first. So I got my little boy in here doing karate. I should have done the floor first, and then stuck because those have eye bolts on the corners, and stuck those eye bolts in the frame, and then did my canvas. But I did it backwards. I did the canvas and then the floor. So right now, my floor eye bolts aren't in the actual frame, which is no big deal to me. I'm in my backyard, and this was just basically a fitting. I wanted to see how this all set up. But just plan on, if you get this tent, that's probably the hardest part, is getting those eye bolts in. But it's not impossible. It's definitely doable. I did it by myself. Just took a lot of strength, and the amount of pull that I had and the force I was using to get those eye bolts in, I'm pretty impressed with the durability of this tent already, because it took everything I had. Now, if I would have put this on the setting, like I said from the get-go, up here, it wouldn't have been as difficult. And then obviously, if you want the fabric even tighter, push those in and then push up on the frame itself and get those into a lower slot to make it even tighter if you want it. I'm probably just going to leave mine where it's at, just because right now it works, and I can tell, maybe over time the fabric will stretch, and if that's the case, then I can move it to the next setting, get a few more uses out of it before I have to move it to the final setting. So I like that it has that versatility. A lot of wall tents are cut and dry. It's just a frame. You build the frame, you slide the canvas over it, and then that's it. If it stretches, it stretches. Sometimes guys, I've seen wall tents have to get re-seamed, re-hammed, all that kind of stuff. This one should last quite a while. And then also, as you can see, which my kids like doing this part, and they didn't get all the way through, but you can come in here and you have that little Velcro strap there to keep the canvas attached to the 4 corners. It doesn't have any on the sides, on the side legs, but the corners have them, as well as you have one on each ridge, on the side ridges, and then you have 2 on the fronts. Yeah, 2 on each side. So it was really windy last night. It was really cold. It rained a lot, and it snowed. Obviously, you can see outside the snow's melted, the sun's out. It's actually pretty hot. It's like 60 degrees. So it went from 25 degrees this morning to now it's 60 degrees. So it's really warm, but I have all the windows open, plus just the screen door exposed, and it is extremely comfortable in here. But yeah, and then as far as the exterior assembly, I already showed you guys in the first part of this video, but it has the guy lines, which are attached to the rain fly on top, or the roof fly. Really simple to use. You use those stakes, you pound them in directly across, and then you have your tensioner, you pull that up and you tighten it down. And then you have your snow skirt or your wall tent skirt, whatever you want to call it. Basically, these were made for winter camping. The original wall tents have those snow skirts come out. You stack snow or pack snow along the edge here, and it allows for insulation and all that. You can put dirt on there, like I said at the very beginning. But I used 2 heavy-duty stakes on each corner, and then 1 on each one of these guy lines, so that's 8 on the corners, 8 for the guy lines, so there's your 16. And then the other 2 that I used were right here on the skirt on the front for the screen door. One of the nice things about this that I kind of just noticed myself is if I want to roll the screen door up as well, I don't have to pull those stakes out. I can just unhook the screen from it, roll that up, and not have to worry about it. So, and these are the stakes it comes with. So they're a 1/4 inch steel stake. I used a small 5-pound sledge for them to pound them in, and didn't have any issues with them bending or anything like that. And then inside the storage container, you get a tent or the frame bag, and then you have your stake bag where you can put like your stakes, and then also the LED lights were inside that bag, and then these little storage things were actually rolled up inside the tent. The bag itself is really nice. It's high quality. It's heavy duty. I don't feel like this is going to rip. My Alaknak tent bag ripped after I think the second time we took it out. But this one also has wheels on this side. It has a handle on each side, so if you have 2 people, you can carry it. If there's just one of you, you can use the wheels and drag it, which is really simple. And then I noticed on top here it had 2 zippers, so this zipper opens it and there's a zipper underneath it. And so I just unzipped it and realized that obviously when you get a tent and then you try to roll it back up, it never fits like it did when it comes from the manufacturer, which is fine because this zipper down here, you open it up and it actually allows that bag to extend like another 6 inches. So you could definitely fit, if you do it right, you can get the tent in there, the floor in there, your entire frame, all your stakes, and you could probably put like a mallet if you want to use like a sand mallet to pound in your stakes, or even a small sledge like I have out here. Different things that, you can put a lantern in there. I wouldn't put a glass lantern or a propane lantern, probably just one of those LED battery operated ones, but you can fit quite a bit of stuff in that bag. So pretty impressed for a Walmart tent. I mean, this is the budget friendly wall tent for sure. I'm excited to get our clients in this. I'm probably going to buy 2 or 3 more, talk to my outfitter. These would be good tents to set up in elk camp, so if you come and hunt with us, you'll probably get to stay in one of these tents. But if you have any questions, please post them down in the comments below. And I'll try to post some of the specs on the material and everything in the description, so be sure to check that out. And give us a like and hit that subscription button with that little bell icon, and we're going to be posting up a lot of hunting videos, a lot of scouting videos, stuff like that from our season this year. We just started our YouTube channel not too long ago, so hopefully we can get everything going for all you guys to watch. We're excited for this year. Despite the COVID-19, I think we're still going to have a pretty good year. So anyways, if you have questions, like I said before, post them in the comments below, and make sure you hit that subscribe and that bell icon to be updated and notified for future videos. Thanks, guys.